All right, welcome back. This is Operation Torchlight. We are in July 1940. This will be the Commonwealth and Free France turn. And for those who've been following along, thanks. And before we do the actual turn, I'm going to get into a few notes that I don't know if you can see that or not, but some errata, I guess you could say, some corrections from some of the previous turns. So the first off is that, oops, I didn't turn on this light. I don't know if that helped or not. First off is that when the Japanese took Primorsky Krai, the coastal gun that was there should have been destroyed. So if it wasn't already, that's gone. Next is that the KMT, they missed some of their income, so their current bank should have 15 IPP in it. Third is that the German infantry in West Ukraine, instead of railing to Taurida, which it couldn't do, it walks into Kiev. Third is that Germany did not repair the rail in wherever it was, Western Ukraine, because they didn't realize that it was scorched earth, so it wasn't just about the rail crossing into one border, or one border crossing. It was all of the border crossings were burned. So instead they placed a militia in West Germany with that $2. For the UK, they did not lose $2 in C-Zone 122 to the Japanese because they have ASW and radar, and so they do get a defense roll at 2 that I'm going to do here in just 1 second. Next is that the attack on... it's in C-Zone 20, the attack on the heavy cruiser versus destroyer. Yeah, so the veteran had that I had 4 destroyers there, but actually I had 3 destroyers and a heavy cruiser. And in round 3 of that battle, he had just 2 destroyers remaining. There was actually a destroyer and a heavy cruiser, and it rolled a 2 and a 6. So it was a 50-50 chance that the battle was over right then, and I save a destroyer versus the battle was not. So we're going to roll a die and take care of that. I'll do that just in a second too. Next is Russia and CCP. Their bank should be 50 and 11 respectively. And then the last one is that when the Dutch declared war on the UK, the Dutch immediately aligned. So the Netherlands and Dutch Suriname and then all the way over here in the Maluku Islands, those all went to the UK, so they go up 3 IPP on their income, so they should be at 28 now. All right, so we have 2 things we need to roll dice for to try to clarify. The first is the ASW defense roll for the Japanese submarine that attacked C-Zone 122. So ASW rolls a defense of 2 or less. So grab a die out of the thing. 2 or less, the sub dies. Anything else, it's fine. And it's a 9, so it is fine. There was no harm, no foul. Next is that battle that was in C-Zone 20. So I talked with the veteran, and we agreed that I'm going to roll a die. If it's a 6 or less, then it was the heavy cruiser that had the 6 and the destroyer that had the 2, so it would have been 2 hits. If it's a 7 through 12, then it was the heavy cruiser that rolled the 2 and the destroyer that rolled the 6, and so there was no change to the battle outcome. Basically, I'm rolling a die, 50-50 shot. Do I get to keep the destroyer in C-Zone 20? And I really hope I get to keep it. So I need a 1 through 6 to keep it. It's a 2, so I do. So that was the heavy destroyer that had the 6 and the destroyer that had the 2, and so it never went to further rounds of battle, and I keep the destroyer in C-Zone 20. All right, so let's go ahead and go straight to my tech rolls for the UK. UK is on stage 1 of wartime economy and really wants to get to stage 2, and he needs a 7 or higher. And it's a 2, and they failed. Improved factories will be the second one we'll go for. Need a 7 or higher. And got an 8, so we got that one. So that's about right statistically. So stage 1 for both wartime economy and improved factories. Let's go to their purchases. So The UK is going to lend-lease $1 to the French, so I'll move that right over to them. And then actually also the Far East Command is going to lend-lease $1 to the French as well. With the rest of their money, they're going to spend $3 to put an infantry up into northern England, and in London, they're going to drop a fighter, an artillery, and 3 Marines for $26. It should be right. 12, 16, 26. Good. The Far East Command, they are going to spend 8 to do a militia upgrade. They're going to spend, and 3 more militia. And then they're going to spend 7 to lend-lease a air transport to the KMT. I don't have KMT colored sculpts for air transports. I never imagined that they were involved to a major power very often. So I'm going to use US sculpts, and basically anything US colored in China will act as will just be KMT. And if I start getting other US forces into China, then I'll figure it out. But maybe I'll just keep a KMT roundel underneath of it to show that it's KMT. And then lastly, the Anzac, they have $9. They're going to buy $9. They're going to buy an infantry for 3. They're going to upgrade a militia to an infantry for another 2, and 2 more infantry for 4, so 9 total. So all money spent. And then now, since I'm right here talking about it, with the extra $2 that the French got, so they're at 9 now, and they'll buy 3 infantry. Making things a little bit difficult there in Africa, but what are they going to do? All right, we do have a total of 4 battles to declare for the Commonwealth. The first one is over here. So we are going to move this coastal sub from Sea Zone 65 and put him on convoy duty in Sea Zone 56. Yep, nothing on Maritime Air Patrol, so nothing they can do about that one, but I'm sure he'll die in the next round. And then secondly, when they have counterattack, we will take this submarine that's in 122, and we'll put him on convoy duty as well here in Sea Zone 122, because this $5 line that comes all the way from London all the way down here to 122. All right, third is we're going to take 3 Gurkhas, all 3 from Burma, and we're going to move into Siam and attack this lone militia here for the Japanese. And I think 1, 2, yeah, and I could take the fighter too, because there's no air base there, so he'd have to land either in Burma or in what do you call it? Malaya. But so I think I'll leave the fighter behind. I'll just take the 3 Gurkhas. The nice thing is that the Gurkhas have no penalty for the jungle. So, and that is a jungle terrain. Just making sure there's no rivers or anything else, just a jungle terrain. All right, those are 3 battles. The last battle, the big one, I have up here in the north. So this one is going to be fun. We have the fleet here in the channel. It is going, which consists of, I'll move it up here so you can see on the camera, consists of this stuff here. So as you notice, I took everything out of West Germany because we're attacking West Germany. We're going to take all our planes and all of our stuff in. It's going to be wonderful. So first, we'll take in 3 infantry from the Netherlands, because that's a line now. So those guys are up for grabs. No terrain, because the river is going south. So no terrain on that. Next, we will take this seaplane is actually going to participate. He can move 6, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3. He can go right back to the Midlands, but he's basically fodder for the air superiority, because even though he attacks at a what does he attack at, a 3, he can only hit transports and submarines. So even if he hits, he can't kill anything. We're also going to take these 3 fighters from the Midlands. So they can go 1, 2, 3. And then they can either land on the light carriers that'll be here, or they could land actually right here in the Netherlands. So that's nice. Everything will either land on the light carriers here or in the Netherlands, because those are my only options to get stuff there. All right, so that's 3 fighters there. Next, coming out of London, got another fighter. That's 4. Coming off of the light carriers, we got a tactical bomber and another fighter. So that's 5 fighters and a tactical bomber. Let's see. Then we've got a whole bunch of bombardments. So we've got coastal defense ship, thanks to the Dutch. So I'm just going to move this whole fleet right up in there, because that's what they're going to do. So we got a coastal defense ship from the Dutch. We got a battle cruiser, 3 heavy cruisers, 3 light cruisers. All of those can bombard. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As long as we land at least 8 units, we can, which we're actually going to land 10 units, because we have 4 UK transports and 1 Anzac transport that we're going to use. All right, so there's 3 Marines sitting in London. They're going to pick those guys up, take them in with them. I'm going to have to put the landing stuff in a different... I'll put them on a different spot on the battle board so you guys can be able to see it a little bit better. We're also going to take this artillery out of the Midlands. So that will boost 1 as well. But it will only boost in the second round. So I'm going to set it off to the side of the battle board just so we know, because it doesn't land in the first round. And then we're going to take, let's see. Here's 3 infantry off of London. Get those. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 so far. And then we'll take 1, 2, 3 infantry off of the Midlands as well. That gets us to 10. All right. So I think that's it. We'll roll the small ones first and the big one last. Save the best for last. So I think I got everything right there. Yeah, and I got decent amounts of stuff left in all of the other places. All right, that is it. Sorry, I guess it's an attack move. This escort here is actually going to move over and escort. No, actually, I thought about moving it. He's not going to do that. He's actually going to come off escort duty. I'll move him on the next turn. Or on the non-combat move. All right, so let's roll some dice. So we will take over here. We'll do a convoy first. I don't even have my D6 dice out. Let's put it right like this, something like that. All right, so for the first is the convoy of the coastal sub in Sea Zone 56. So red is the attacker, black is the defender. So I get a +1 for the coastal sub. Whoops, not in the box. And that's nothing. All right, so that was a failure. Next will be the regular sub convoying in Sea Zone 122. I get a +2 on this one. Red is the attacker, black is the defender. Nice. I think there's only 4 more possible to take off of that line because it was already rated by the Russians. So that's $5 off that line now, the max amount. All right. because that would have been, what, 8 minus 1 is 7, but can't do that much. All right, next attack was going into Siam. So I've got 3 Gurkhas, which I should have pulled this out, sorry, to make sure that I get the right stuff on it. 3 Gurkhas versus a militia. So the Gurkhas, those guys, no, they're not on this one. Should have looked ahead of time. The Gurkhas attack at 2, defense at 4, +1 defense in jungle. It's considered a mountain infantry. Huh. So maybe it's actually not. Sorry, should have looked this up ahead of time. Jungles -2 to attack and defending vehicle class. Okay, so there's no reduction for them. It's just that they actually get boosted on defense, not on offense. So, 3 Gurkhas attacking at 2, and 1 militia defending at 2. So the Gurkhas are. I use the special forces for them, so I'll take 3 green dice, and I'll go ahead and throw in 1 yellow die for the militia and roll it all together. 3 at 2 versus 1 at 2. And nothing. That's a 6, and a 9 versus a 9. Roll again. Nothing. A 4, a 7, and a 6 versus a 5. Oh, he hit. I lose a Gurkha. Try it again. Oops. Wow, this is bad. These Gurkhas stink. Everybody missed. 4, 4, and 8. One more. Gosh. That's a 9. A 4 and an 8. This is... I'm going to be here all day rolling this battle. There we go. Got him. And he missed with a 3. Just making sure you can see all those rolls. Yep. All right. So lose a Gurkha, and he loses a militia. Far East Command takes that. Get the roundel, and so it goes to Siam is 1. So the Far East Command goes up 1, and to a total of 15, and Japan goes down 1 from 32 to 31. All right, next. Maybe I should have brought that fighter. Oh well. Next, we will look at the only battle left, the big one. So I've got it here on the battle boards. Hopefully you guys can see that. All of these units up here, these 9, right? Making sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are landing. And then these 3 infantry are walking in. The seaplane, I've got 5 fighters and 1 tack bomber at 6, 1 tack bomber at 7. And he has 2 militia at 2, 3 infantry and 3 medium bombers at 4, 1 grenadier at 5, and then 7 fighters at 6. So this is a pretty sketchy battle, but hey, it's a potential to knock out almost his entire air force. So let's start with bombardments. So I have bombarding a battle cruiser at 3 and a coastal defense ship at 3. Yep. So I didn't like those yellow die. Let's try some black dice. 2 shots at 3. Got 1. All right. There's a militia. And then I have 3 heavy cruisers at 2. Nothing. 3, 11, and 6. And then I have 3 light cruisers at 1. Nothing. 4, 5, and 5. All right. So only the one militia hit. I was hoping for at least 2, if not 3. So, whew, let's go. Let's start with the first round, and we will go tactical bomber. Let's see. Tactical bomber is tipped in blue. Fighters are all tipped in red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Seaplane doesn't matter. And I'll roll all the rest of them next, since I've got 12 infantry at 2. So, all right. Aircraft. No! So I got 1, and then 2, 3, 4. So these 3 have to go to aircraft from the fighters, and I was told to take the heavy bombers. So those 3 will already be selected. And then the last one, I'm sure, will be the militia. All right. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think I only have like 10 of each color. 9, 10, 11, 12. Here we go with 12 infantry at 2. That's not good. 1 hit. That's all. Okay, so that will be an infantry. All right, here comes the response. And double casualties unless it's air superiority. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fighters, plus 3 greens for the heavy bombers. So we'll roll the planes first. Oops, Mr. Red. Okay. 1, 2. Wow, only 2 hits from his fighters. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, that's good. So that is going to be my seaplane and 1 fighter. All right. And then his heavy bombers, his medium bombers got 1 more. So that'll have to be a Marine. All right. Next, we've got 3 infantry, a militia at yellow, and why not go the grenadier with white? So, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 ground units. That's not good too. All right, so the grenadier hit. All 3 of his infantry hit, and the militia missed. All right, so we are going to take 2 more Marines for 2 of the hits. And then, oh shoot, I've got to take 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry as double hit casualties. All right, let's get all that out of the way. All the losses. My artillery is now landed, and he gets to boost an infantry. So now I've got 4 infantry at 2, an infantry and an artillery at 3, and 4 fighters at 6, and attack bomber at 7, versus his 2 infantry, grenadier, and still 7 fighters. So 10 units versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so we got a blue for the attack bomber, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the fighters. Let's take the artillery and the infantry white at 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4 blacks at 2 for glass infantry. All right, here we go. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3 hits. That missed. Those all missed. And those missed. Only 3 hits. So that takes out the rest of his ground units. All he's got left is the 7 fighters. And the defense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fighters. The Grenadier will be white. The 2 infantry will be black. Oh, goodness, that's not good. The Grenadier hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his dudes hit as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 4. This is going to be bad. Four. I guess I really don't care if I take the territory as much. Bummer. Let's not worry about the territory. Let's just take those dudes. How much is it worth? 4? Not enough. I'll take those dudes. He got 6. I only got 3. That's in the wrong direction. So I got 5 versus 7 now. So let's see. A blue and 4 fighters. All right. Trying to get some hits. 1, 2 hits. So there goes 2 fighters. And he's still got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3 hits. So that's 3 of my fighters. Trending in the wrong direction. All right. He's going to end up with a lot. Didn't go the way I hoped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So let's retreat, and we'll take these 2 planes, and we will land them on the light carriers in the sea zone, and that battle ends very poorly with 5 fighters remaining. That could be detrimental. Okay? But, oh well. Okay, let's move over to non-combat. Alright, let's see. We'll just keep calm and carry on. Alright, where's my pointer? Over here for non-combat movements. Nothing. Let's take this torpedo boat destroyer, and he will go off of the dockyard, major dockyard. 1, 2, 3 up here like that, and over here we're going to take these 2 Gurkhas and move them over to Burma from Bengal. And I think that's it. Okay. All right. Now, sorry, just thinking. Let's go ahead and place units. So we'll start over here with the Anzac. So they're going to they're going to place a militia in New Guinea, and then they're going to upgrade their militia in New Guinea. So you end up with just adding an infantry there. Then, of course, we're going to place an infantry in Sydney with the factory. And I still have one militia. We'll put him in New Zealand for fun. Okay. Next, the Far East Command. They are going to deliver their Lend-Lease. So they have this air transport, and we've got some interdiction paths with the subs here. So we're just going to Lend-Lease him straight up into Yunnan. And then for their stuff, they're going to see they're upgrading a militia and then placing 3 militia. So they will upgrade the militia in, let's go here in Malay, and then they'll also place a militia. So I'll just place the infantry, and that's it. Next, we'll place. Oh no, never mind. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to upgrade the militia in Sarawak. So we'll upgrade a militia and then place a militia there. And then I've got 2 more militias to place, and we'll place those in Malay and Hong Kong. Okay. That works. Next, the British, which are hurting pretty bad. They will build 3 Marines in London. Oh gosh. Plus an artillery and a fighter in London. And then the other infantry will be built in northern England. So there's 3 there now. All right. Oh, what a bad roll. So let's do our collect income. There's no recruitment rolls anymore for the Dutch. So the UK is at 28. And they have 5 in bonus, so they'll collect 33. And I've still got that one. Actually, I'm going to take this seaplane, and he's going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's going to land in the Midlands. Sorry for that correction. All right. And then the Far East Command, they're at 15, and they still have their +2, so they collect 17. And the Anzac, they are still at 7, but they do not have their bonus because there are ships within 2 spaces. We have this nice big fleet over there off of New Zealand, which means they don't get their bonus 2, so they will just get their 7. I guess I'll go like this so you can see. So there's their 7 there. All right, let's go ahead and do the French turn. Apologize, this is probably getting way too long. So the French have 9, and they're going to buy 3 infantry. They do have a couple of small moves. They're going to attack this last spot here. This motorized will move over 1, attack the Ivory Coast, and turn that one into Free French. And that is the only attack they're going to make. And then for their movements, Their small fleet with the transport, sub, destroyer, and cruiser are going to move 1, 2 up into this massive fleet that's here off of West Germany. And then they will also move around a little bit. Their infantry, can you see this? Nope. Their infantry in Abyssinia is going to move up to Nubia. Their infantry over here are going to play the shuffle game. We're going to take 2 over to Morocco, and then one from Tunisia to northern Algeria. All right, for placement, because I think that's it for movements and such. They're going to take their 3 infantry. One's going to go to Syria, and 2 are going to go into Morocco. That's 1, 2, 3. I'll chip it out later. There's 5 infantry and militia there. All right, I think that's it. The French are still sitting tight at 6, so they will collect 6 to be able to use for next turn. And that ends the Commonwealth and Free France. Didn't quite go the way I hoped, but you know, it's a roll of the dice. So we'll see what happens next turn, and appreciate everybody watching. And that is it. Next up is the Italians. Cheers.